Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and we are Jaguar F-Type specialists. Many would argue that the V6S is the sweet spot in the F-Type range. 380 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, classic handling, brilliant performance, and a sports coupe which you can have as easily as a daily driver as a weekend pleasure. Fabulous looks, a positive energy around the car wherever you take it. It adds up to an incredibly attractive package. And then when you find one like this in Rhodium Silver with red performance leather and a number of other features and enhancements which really do make it stand out from the crowd, it's time to get very excited indeed. And I am very excited to show you around this beautiful Jaguar. I've frequently remarked how the different colour palettes show off the lines, the curves, the form and shape of the F-Type in different ways. And like the grey colours, Rhodium Silver really has this tremendous effect on the look of the car. The power bulge on the bonnet there, the sweep of these compound curves towards the rear end of the car, and those beautiful haunches over the rear wheels, all are accentuated perfectly in this beautiful paint finish. And once we've taken account of the fundamental colourway of the car, of course, then we come to the details. Chrome badges on the back, F-Type, Jaguar with the leaper, and the S badge there on the right with that little dash of green and red. We've got these beautiful twin chrome tailpipes, of course. And then looking at the roof line of the car, we see the sweep from the tailgate over the panoramic roof and down to the windscreen. And that is an important effect of the panoramic roof. Yes, of course, if you're sitting in the car, the light floods in and it can almost be like driving a convertible in bright sunlight. But the other thing the panoramic roof does is to create this beautiful visual spectacle with the roof line of the car. And then the accents, we continue and see these beautiful centrifuge wheels in gloss black, perfect condition, recently refurbished, and they're wearing Pirelli P0 tyres. But please note, Jaguar made many designs, 20 plus designs of wheels for the F-Types. And so I emphasise, buy the right car, and if it happens to have wheels you like, that's great, but don't walk away from your perfect F-Type because the wheels aren't to your preference. Now, we carry several sets of F-Type wheels in our workshop next door, and if you were to say to us, I love this car, but please could you put it on such and such a wheel pattern in such and such a finish? Yes, absolutely, we can talk about doing that for you. We do it reasonably frequently. This car, of course, has black pack, so the black window surrounds, power vents there, and bonnet vents, and that works brilliantly well too with the other black accents as we come round to the front of the front splitter and grille and intakes and so forth. And it's a very visually appealing look indeed. And you can see as well that this car is in stunningly fine order. If you've followed what we do, you'll know that we have extremely high standards here at Sports and Touring, and this car more than meets those standards. It is in utterly incredible condition. And really a tribute to its previous keepers who have very clearly been diligent with its care. And that's as true inside as it is out. And so our next stop will be in the cockpit. We'll supply the car, of course, with 2 remote key fobs and the owner's book pack, but one of the many extra cost items is keyless entry and start. So just tap the button there and the door unlocks. The power fold mirrors move out into position and we open the door to see this sumptuously beautiful cockpit in red leather with the seats and insert details in red and the remainder of the cockpit in jet, and it is a beautiful colour. It's quite a subtle shade, in fact. Occasionally people say to us, oh no, red, that would be too much, and then they find, you know what, it isn't. It's a very easy colour on the eye and yet very beautiful too. We'll start our detailed inspection here with the driver's door card, which I hope you can see is in perfect condition, pretty well as it left the factory. You can see the badge there telling you that we have Meridian surround sound, so the very top level infotainment package on this car, and the very top level 14-way memory seats with side bolster and adjustable lumbar support. And panning round, you can see that the tread plate is in perfect order, and these seats are just beautiful. You might expect to see wear on the side bolsters in particular. There is none. They are in perfect order, right up to the gorgeous headrests there. And above us, of course, that huge panoramic roof. Right, sitting down into the F-Type. And I always describe this as being a combination of art and science. It is beautiful aesthetic design meeting fantastic technology with a particularly good user interface. The way that the switches and controls and so forth work is just wonderful. In more detail, we can look between the headrests here and see that useful stowage there. I've sometimes mentioned that one day I expect to find someone's put a plant pot in there. Hasn't happened yet, but you know, you could be the first. We swing down from there to the armrest, and under there we've got the CD/DVD player, and then twin USB sockets for charging your electronics, a 12-volt socket and a mini jack as well, input into the infotainment system so that you could play an audio source that way. Coming forward a little, and there is the twin cup holder with a little recess in the middle designed to take one of those small drinks cans that are so popular nowadays. And to explore the centre console now, we'll fire up the supercharged V6. Looking ahead, you can see there, by the way, we have the low battery, please start engine message. These cars do not like sitting with the engine switched off, and it only takes a few minutes, for example, sitting here while we're shooting a video, for the car to start complaining about the fact that it would like its engine to be started in order to increase the battery voltage. Nothing at all wrong with the battery. It's just a facet of the way the F-Type works. So finger on the start button, and by the way, it's the Ignis start button with that bronze finish, part of the Ignis switch pack, along with the paddles there. My foot is on the brake, and we will see the instrument binnacle do its self-test flying display there. The centre air vent rises up into the operating position, and you can see that the RPM has settled to quite a high value. That is in order to protect the catalytic converters by warming them up slowly and appropriately to ensure longevity. Okay, back down here to the centre console, and we've got the Eco Stop Start Defeat switch. Next to that, the spoiler switch, which enables you to put the spoiler up and down manually. It comes up at 70, of course, goes down at 54 when you're driving, but you can put it up using the switch below those speeds. Particularly important when you're cleaning the car to make sure you do under there. Oh, and by the way, do behind the petrol cap cover as well when you're giving your car a wash. Then the traction control on-off switch, and next to that the switched active sports exhaust switch, which opens those valves in the exhaust system and gives you that throatier exhaust sound. Those valves, of course, also open when you select dynamic driving mode, which I'll come to in a moment. Here we've got the electronic parking brake, which pretty well takes care of itself, actually. It releases automatically when you drive the car away. There's nothing to do there in order to release the parking brake, as there is on some rather annoying car designs. Then moving forward, we've got the on-off button for the media and the volume control there. And this beautiful shift stick. It's a great piece of design, falls perfectly into the hand. Pull the trigger to activate it, move it into drive, and there we are. The car is now in drive gearbox mode. We can move it sideways, like so, into sports gearbox mode, and in this mode we can now shift up and down the gearbox using the shift stick itself, like so, if you want to do that traditional thing. Personally, I use the paddles on the steering columns on the steering wheel, because that means my hands are on the wheel and the car is under complete control while I'm manoeuvring and shifting, of course. But you know, reach down and feel like the old days once in a while. Why not use the shift stick? Then we have the driving mode selector. So at the moment we're in standard driving mode, and we go forward there into rain, ice and snow mode. That is then confirmed there on the instrument display. And the car is calmed down very considerably for driving on slippery surfaces. The throttle response particularly dampened in this mode, and it makes driving on slippery surfaces much easier. Okay, we come out of rain, ice and snow mode into normal or vanilla mode, and then into dynamic or tutti frutti driving mode. You see the instrument binnacle backlighting turns red and we get that message dynamic mode confirmed. And this being the V6S, that means that the suspension has firmed up, the gearbox, engine and steering maps have all been adjusted, and the car is configured for a sportier driving experience. A little more agile, a little more communicative, and yet still very comfortable. There's nothing harsh about the F-Type suspension system in dynamic mode. Okay, back down here we've got a 12-volt socket there and the stop-start switch, of course, and then the climate control panel where we can dial in the temperature for the cockpit. We've got auto climate, air conditioning, timed circulation. There's the hazard warning light button switch conveniently in the middle, and then front and rear demist. And then press either of these buttons here that are built into the climate control temperature knobs, and you can see that we adjust the 3-level electric seat heating for passenger and driver. On from there to the infotainment, and it's often difficult to get this to show correctly on the video, but we'll do our best with that as usual. We're on the home page here. You can see that we've got 4 sections to it. We can start with the media options. I didn't press that quite firmly enough. Under media there we've got the various sources: radio, DAB, source and my video there, and if I tap source you'll see that we have Bluetooth, iPod, DVD, CD, aux, USB and stored CDs. And the stored CDs option means that if you play a CD in the car, you can upload it into the car's hard drive and then you can replay it again. So it's almost like having a jukebox built into the car. Of course, we've got Bluetooth telephony, very crisp, very clear, very easy to use. And then here we have got the climate section where we can adjust the airflow to suit, and settings, and turn the climate system off, of course, as well. Go back to the home page again and down to the satellite navigation, which is very crisp and clear and easy to program with your destination and easy to understand while you're driving. Back to the home page again, and we can have a look to the right here at the extra features, where we've got configurable ambient lighting to start with. So in this mode we can, provided we're not in dynamic driving mode, so I'll just come out of that there, we can change the colour and the brightness of the illumination in the cockpit. So see the red illumination there? I'm going to turn that blue now, and you see it fades beautifully into a blue shade, and you can adjust that to your own particular preference. Back to the extra features page again, and we will see that we have dynamic eye. Now for this we need to be in dynamic mode, so I'll select that again, and you can see that we can have my setup or factory setup, and then the gear shift, suspension, steering and engine can be configured dynamic or normal. Okay, back to the steering wheel now, and here we've got the 2 thumb pads. So the left thumb cluster, audio, infotainment controls and the Bluetooth telephony button. Right thumb cluster is the cruise control and active speed limiter. And then on the 2 stalks, left hand stalk there for the automatic headlights, and on the right hand stalk we've got the rain sensitive wipers. And then there in front of us, that beautiful, crisp, clear instrument binnacle with the speedo and rev counter displayed. Finally, just down here by my right knee, sorry for the shaky camera work, we've got the boot release rear fog light and the dimmer for the instrument binnacle there. And they are handily placed, but slightly out of the way because you don't use them very often. So that is a tour of this cockpit. I hope you see that everywhere the quality is breathtakingly brilliant. I cannot perceive a single mark or blemish or deficiency anywhere in this cockpit. Yes, it's a super low mileage F-Type, but it has been so carefully cared for by its previous keepers. Even on the steering wheel here, there's no sign that people's rings have scratched the leather. It really has been brilliantly well looked after. Okay, we'll switch the engine off and take a look next in the boot. Jaguar knew that the F-Type had to be not only beautiful, not only stunning to drive, but also practical to succeed on commercial grounds. And that is a reason why it was given what is, for a 2-seat coupe, a cavernous boot space. 310 litres of room, in fact, which is an enormous amount. Yes, it's a slightly unusual shape. That is partly so that you can get a set of golf clubs in. They go in diagonally. Shuffle the bottom end of the bag into the corner here, which extends right out behind the rear wheel arch. And then the bag articulates round like so to lie across the back of the boot, and your trolley or hold all or whatever goes in front there. If you're touring in the F-Type, I strongly recommend obtain one of those bespoke luggage sets. There's a brilliant company run by Colin Sermon who does some wonderful bespoke luggage sets to suit any kind of budget. You can have your family crest monogrammed onto them in gold silk if you wish. They'll do anything at all that you wish on the baggage front. But the important thing is that they are sets of bags which are designed for the F-Type boot, which make the maximum use of the space and yet still look utterly brilliant when you're carrying your bags up to your hotel reception at the end of your day's driving. And I'll mention, by the way, also just under the boot floor there's a handy stowage, if I move out of the light, a little stowage area where you can keep perhaps your motoring bits and pieces. Okay, we'll close the tailgate and come round to the passenger side of the car. And again, you will see that everything here is in perfect factory fresh order. The door card unblemished, the tread plate, carpet, mat, dashboard, and again this beautiful performance seat in this stunning red leather, all in absolutely pristine condition. Well, we conclude our tour around the car and there's one place left to go. That is the most important place of all, perhaps, right there, under the bonnet. There's the big F-Type bonnet under which lurks the V6 power plant with the supercharger sitting on top, and that engine is delivering 380 horsepower, driving this coupe from 0 to 60 in just 4.9 seconds and on to a top speed which is limited artificially at 171 miles per hour. But this car is not about numbers. It's not a drag racing car. This is a car which is all about the experience that you have there in the driving seat with your hands and feet on the control, and especially the connection you sense between you and your car and your journey. That is the thing F-Type owners and drivers talk about. And by the way, you can see here under the bonnet, everything is crisp and clean, correct, all in the right place and in the right order. The service history on this car is exemplary, considering the very, very low mileage it's travelled. The service history is astonishingly good, all with Jaguar main dealers. And yes, here it is, waiting to delight its next keeper. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It has been an enormous pleasure to show you this beautiful F-Type. We're Sports and Touring. We're just outside Andover in Hampshire, open 7 days a week by appointment only. You're very welcome to telephone, email or WhatsApp us if you've got any questions, or if you'd like to arrange to see this car in person or by video viewing. It'll be a pleasure to send you a link to the Google Drive. That's our online folder with higher resolution copies of the photographs and PDF copies of important documents around the car. If you've got a vehicle to dispose of on your buying journey, we'll give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value with the minimum inconvenience. And if you would like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA, and we work with a really brilliant broker. Do please take a few moments to read our reviews in Auto Trader. I'm very proud indeed of the things our previous customers say about us. And I'll close by saying thank you once again. Feel free to like and subscribe to us here on YouTube, and we will look forward to hearing from you very soon.